My name is Rain. My job role on Repression, the Acrefield Prowler was producer, director and cinematographer.
I'm Leon Armstrong and I was the scriptwriter and editor for Repression, the Acrefield Prowler.
So my inspirations for this film, definitely a big one was Criminal Minds. I feel like a lot of the shot types and just the story as a whole for me was inspired by Criminal Minds. Also shows like Law and Order, Broadchurch, but films like Long Legs, especially for the office setting, was something that inspired me. Seven and Zodiac.
Stanley Kubrick was a massive inspiration, especially for the editing, and although I wasn't doing it, the cinematography as I planned out some of the shots as well for the film. Police TV shows, whether that be ones with no unique selling point or the more supernatural ones, all of them came together and kind of just the vibe and aesthetic of how they did it, that was a big influence. Finally, Rush Hour, as I think the comedy aspect was lightly in the film.
The biggest lesson I learned from this film is definitely to take your time. That was something that I kind of struggled with this film due to other ongoing commitments both before and after filming. So whilst it wasn't really possible with this film, it's definitely reinforced the idea that taking your time is so important and not being afraid to ask for things like taking another shot or just taking those extra 5 minutes.
The biggest lesson for me was make sure you're present on set. Whatever job role you are, make sure you're present on set. Otherwise, the film might not turn out exactly how you wanted it to, and that will be your fault.
My favourite scene, I think, has got to be the opening one. I think the end scene comes very close to it. I love the culmination of all the shots, and I just think it flows really well.
Favourite scene? Well, since I was the writer, I'd have to say George's monologue once they find a certain someone's body, as he's called in the film, Paul Anka. I think I wrote it really well, it was written really well, and the colour grading was good, so I'm quite proud of that.
The part of the process I enjoyed the most was probably just being able to make a film of this length. I've never made one this long before, and it was just really fun to experiment and also have a fully fleshed out story as well. I feel like with all my other films, they've kind of just been a very short and simple story, so it was really interesting to get right into the characters, expand a full story, and also do different locations as well.
I'd have to say the editing. I did enjoy being on set, but it was a bit stressful some days, and writing it was stressful because we had to get it done in a few hours. So I'd say the editing part was my favourite.
So what's next for me is I'm not planning on going to uni, but I've got a couple of other short films coming up this summer which I'm working with other people for, a few of which have been featured in our film. As well as that, I've applied to a few different courses to take part in the summer, and I think just getting to working after that.
What's next for me is in the summer I'm working on a cult film, a horror, which keep your eyes open for, and another short film coming out next week.